Captain Elias Varn had not returned to space for nearly a decade, yet standing in the shadow of the abandoned base, he felt a familiar pull. The station had been left to rot after the last war, an empty husk floating on the edge of known human space. Most people would have seen it as worthless, a relic better left to dust and silence. But Elias saw something else, a chance. And he was not alone. By his side, his daughter Lyra adjusted her backpack, her eyes sparkling with curiosity and cautious excitement. Lyra had grown up hearing stories of her father's battles. She had seen his medals, his scarred hands, and the quiet resolve in his eyes. She had also inherited his curiosity and courage, qualities that made her both clever and daring. Together, they had crossed countless sectors in search of opportunity. Yet this old space base promised more than opportunity. It promised a chance to prove themselves, to stake a claim where no one else believed they could. As they approached the main airlock, the whispers of others in the sector reached them. Traders, mercenaries, and smugglers, anyone who had heard of their plans, laughed openly at the idea. "That base is a tomb," one merchant had scoffed over the comm network. "Nothing left but rust and ghosts. You'll get yourself killed." Another voice, rough and sneering, added, "Even if you survive, no one will care. Go ahead, waste your time, old soldier." Elias ignored them. His years of experience had taught him that the doubters rarely saw what others could. He glanced at Lyra, who met his gaze with a determined nod. "Let them laugh," she said softly. "They just don't see what we see." The airlock hissed open, and the scent of stale metal and recycled air greeted them. Elias and Lyra stepped inside carefully, their boots echoing on the metallic floor. The base was silent, but it was not empty. Broken machinery littered the halls, wires hung from the ceilings, and faded signs marked long-abandoned rooms. Lyra ran her fingers over the walls, tracing the faint carvings left by those who had once worked here. "It feels alive," she whispered. Elias chuckled. "It's full of history, that's for sure. And if we're smart, we'll make it live again." Their first task was to restore basic systems, oxygen, power, and communications. The old generators groaned under the strain, but Elias's hands were steady as he checked circuits and rewired connections. Lyra assisted, her quick mind spotting patterns in the failing systems that even seasoned technicians might miss. Hours passed, then days. Slowly, the base began to hum with life. Lights flickered on, screens blinked, and the central air system rumbled to life. During this time, other signs of the base's forgotten past emerged. In the cargo hold, crates of spare parts lay stacked, covered in dust, but intact. In the labs, old data logs hinted at experiments and studies conducted by humans long gone. Most intriguing of all, Lyra discovered faint alien symbols etched into the walls of the observation deck. She called Elias over, and together they traced the patterns, though neither could understand their meaning. The symbols seemed to shimmer faintly under the lights, as if they remembered the touch of human hands. While Elias focused on systems, Lyra explored deeper sections of the base. She found storage rooms full of old tools and machinery, corridors leading to observation platforms with breathtaking views of distant stars, and even small living quarters that once housed officers and scientists. The further she went, the more she felt the presence of the base itself, a silent guardian waiting to be awakened. Outside, the sector remained unaware of their progress. The factions that had mocked them were busy with their own pursuits, thinking the base's story had ended long ago. But rumors traveled slowly, and whispers of the Varn's audacious claim began to circulate. Traders passing nearby would mention seeing the lights flicker in the old station, and word would spread among those who still hung on the edge of human space. Elias and Lyra faced challenges at every turn. The station's old defense systems were unreliable, and sensors misread empty corridors as intruders. The gravity generators needed constant attention, and supply lines were scarce. Yet they persevered. Each small victory, a room fully lit, a generator stabilized, a communications array restored, was a testament to their skill and determination. One evening, as Lyra recalibrated a sensor array, she noticed a faint signal on the old data network. It was weak, fragmented, and seemed to pulse in patterns. She called Elias over, who frowned as he watched the readings. "Could be interference," he said. "Old equipment, dying circuits." But Lyra's intuition told her otherwise. "No, Father," she said firmly. "This is intentional. Something is trying to communicate." Elias studied the signal, realizing that his daughter's instincts were correct. The base held secrets, and they had only begun to uncover them. He felt a surge of excitement mixed with caution. This was why he had returned to space, not for comfort, not for recognition, but for discovery. And he had brought Lyra along because she could see what he sometimes could not. As they worked late into the night, a small shuttle appeared on the base's long-range scanners. Elias tensed. Shuttles in this sector rarely came without purpose, and their arrival could mean danger. Lyra leaned over his shoulder, studying the approaching craft. To their relief, it was not a hostile vessel. A friendly scout ship, belonging to an old ally of Elias, had detected the base's reactivation. "You're doing it," the scout's voice crackled over the comms. "I never thought you'd pull it off." Elias smiled faintly. "It's only the beginning," he said. Lyra watched him, understanding the weight of his words. They had reclaimed the base, yes, but its potential was far greater than anyone realized. And with every passing moment, the station itself seemed to respond to their presence, lights flickering in acknowledgement, machinery humming in anticipation. The scout delivered supplies and shared information about other factions in the sector. Many had laughed at the Varn's endeavor, but now curiosity stirred. Some began to wonder, what had they found? What secrets lay within the walls of that forgotten station? Elias knew they had to be cautious. Power drawn too quickly or secrets revealed too soon could invite danger. He and Lyra would have to guard the base carefully, ensuring it remained theirs until they were ready to reveal its true value. In the quiet moments, when the work was done for the day, Elias and Lyra walked along the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction, distant planets glowing like jewels in the void. Lyra leaned against the railing, eyes wide. "It's beautiful," she murmured, "and it feels like it's waiting for something, like it's alive." Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "It is alive," he said. "Not with life like we know it, but with purpose. This station has waited for someone capable, someone who can bring it back, and it chose us." As night fell over the base, the station's lights glowed softly against the darkness of space. The hum of revived machinery mixed with the steady pulse of life support systems. Outside, the stars twinkled silently, indifferent, yet somehow approving. The Varns had claimed the old space base, and with it, the beginning of an adventure that would change their lives, and perhaps the future of human space, forever. By the end of the first week, basic repairs were complete. The air was breathable, the lights stable, and communications operational. Lyra had mapped the entire base, noting weak points and areas that required further work. Elias had restored the generator core and reinforced critical systems. Together, they had turned what was once a relic into a functioning outpost, a beacon of human determination in a sector that had long forgotten such courage. But the base held more secrets than they had yet imagined. Strange energy readings flickered in unused sections. Holographic projections appeared sporadically, displaying patterns and symbols that defied human understanding. The whispers of ancient technology seemed to call to Lyra, her curiosity drawing her deeper into the station's mysteries. Elias watched her from across the room, proud, but wary. He knew that their greatest challenges were still ahead. The base was no longer a forgotten relic. It was a key, a puzzle, and a prize. And those who had laughed at them would soon find that the soldier and his daughter were far from ordinary. In the quiet hum of revived machinery and the twinkling of distant stars, Elias and Lyra prepared for what was to come. They had claimed the old space base, and they had done it together. The rest of the universe might have laughed, but soon they would see what humans could accomplish when courage, intelligence, and determination were combined. The story of the Varns, and of the base that waited for them, was only beginning. The base had begun to hum with life. Lights glimmered along the corridors, machinery whirred steadily, and the once dormant air circulation filled every corner with a crisp, breathable wind. Yet despite all the progress Elias and Lyra had made, the station still held secrets. Every sensor they repaired, every terminal they powered up, hinted at something more hidden, something waiting for those willing to search. Lyra's curiosity grew daily. She moved through the base like an explorer charting an unclaimed world, her eyes constantly scanning for anything unusual. One afternoon, while checking an old service tunnel on the lower deck, she noticed a panel slightly out of place. It wasn't obvious. Most would have walked past without a second thought, but Lyra's keen eye spotted the faint glow coming from its edges. She reached out, fingers brushing the cool metal, and pressed gently. The panel slid open with a hiss, revealing a narrow passage beyond. She called Elias immediately. "Father, you need to see this. It's different." Elias arrived quickly, his boots clanging on the metal floor. He peered into the passage and saw a faint light emanating from deeper inside. "Be careful," he warned. "We don't know what's down there." Lyra nodded, her excitement barely contained. Together they stepped into the tunnel. The walls were lined with strange circuitry that hummed softly under their touch, and faint symbols glowed intermittently along the panels. These symbols were unlike anything Elias had seen before. Yet Lyra felt a strange familiarity, as if the patterns were calling to her specifically. At the end of the tunnel, they found a hidden chamber. The room was circular, with a high ceiling that seemed to vanish into shadow. In the center stood a pedestal, and upon it rested an object that immediately captured their attention. A sphere of unknown material, smooth and reflective, pulsating with soft light. Around the sphere were consoles covered in alien script, their screens flickering with patterns that shifted constantly. Lyra stepped closer, eyes wide. "What is this?" she whispered. Elias circled the pedestal, hands brushing over the sphere's surface. He had no explanation, but his instincts told him it was important. "I don't know," he admitted, "but it's powerful. We need to be careful. This could be dangerous." Lyra, however, was already examining the consoles. Her fingers danced over buttons and touch screens, deciphering patterns as best she could. Surprisingly, some of the controls responded to her touch, activating holographic displays that projected star maps, energy readings, and schematics of vessels unlike any human craft. "It's advanced," she said, voice trembling with awe. "Far beyond anything humans have built. Something was here before us, and they left this behind." As they studied the room, a low vibration shook the base. Lights flickered, and machinery in the chamber pulsed in response to the sphere. Elias felt a surge of energy ripple through his hands as he stood near it, and instinctively, he stepped back. Lyra, however, seemed unaffected. She moved closer, almost as if the sphere recognized her presence. "We should document this," Elias said firmly. "We can't risk touching it too much until we understand it." They spent hours exploring the chamber, recording every observation, every anomaly. Lyra's notes filled with sketches of symbols and star charts, while Elias focused on energy readings and structural integrity. The more they uncovered, the more it became clear that this base was not just a military outpost. It was a monitoring station, built to guard and study something far older and far more advanced than humanity itself. News of their discovery began to leak, as it always did in human space. Traders passing nearby carried rumors of the Varns and the hidden chamber, sparking curiosity among other factions. Some dismissed the claims as exaggeration, but others, mercenaries, rival corporations, and old military contacts, started planning how to reach the station. For now, Elias and Lyra were safe, but they knew attention would eventually come. One evening, while monitoring the base's perimeter, Lyra noticed an unusual energy signature coming from deep space. "Father, look at this," she said, pointing at the display. "It's faint, but something is approaching. It's not a ship like any we've seen." Elias leaned over her shoulder, examining the readings. "Could be a probe, or some automated defense system. Either way, we need to be ready." The next day, the energy signature grew stronger, and strange anomalies appeared around the base. Lights in the corridors flickered, sensors misread empty sections as active zones, and low hums echoed in parts of the station that had been silent for years. It was as if the base itself was responding to the presence of the alien technology. Lyra felt drawn to the sphere more than ever, as if it were communicating directly with her. During one of her excursions to the chamber, she touched the sphere gently. A surge of energy flowed through her, and a holographic projection appeared before her eyes. It depicted a star system unfamiliar to humans, with planets orbiting a distant sun. On one of the planets, a city floated above the surface, surrounded by structures that emitted light and energy. Lyra gasped. "It's a message, or a record," she whispered to Elias when he arrived. Elias studied the projection with a frown. "We need to learn from this carefully. If others find out, they'll come for it, and we're not ready to defend against a full fleet yet." Lyra nodded, though she felt a mix of excitement and fear. "It's incredible," she said, "but it's bigger than us. Whoever built this technology, they were not human, and they left this behind for a reason." As they continued exploring, the base began to show signs of its original defenses. Automated turrets powered on, sensors calibrated themselves, and drones, long dormant, activated in response to the sphere's energy. Elias realized that the base had been designed to protect the alien artifact, a safeguard to ensure it could not be accessed by anyone unworthy or unprepared. Days passed, and their understanding of the technology grew. Lyra discovered ways to interface with the alien consoles, learning to manipulate energy flows and interpret star maps. Elias focused on reinforcing the base's defenses, knowing that any outsiders who discovered the artifact would not come quietly. Then, one day, a signal from outside the sector confirmed their fears. A fleet of human mercenaries was en route. They had heard rumors of the Varns' claim and assumed the base held valuable resources. Elias and Lyra realized that the time for secrecy was ending. They would need to defend the station, not just for themselves, but to protect the alien technology from falling into the wrong hands. Preparations began immediately. Drones were tested and repaired, energy shields calibrated, and corridors fortified. Lyra worked tirelessly to understand the sphere's capabilities, discovering that it could amplify human cognition temporarily, enhancing reflexes, perception, and problem-solving skills. "It's like it's helping us think faster, react faster," she explained to Elias. "But I don't know how long it lasts." Elias nodded. "We'll use it wisely. This base may be old, but we can make it stronger than anyone expects. The others will see that laughing at us was a mistake." The first sign of attack came as a shadow on the scanners, a small reconnaissance ship scouting the base's defenses. Elias coordinated the base's systems to respond, activating energy turrets and deploying drones. The intruder attempted to board, but the base's automated defenses, combined with Elias's tactical planning and Lyra's quick thinking, repelled the ship. Lyra felt exhilarated and terrified at the same time. The alien technology had given them an advantage, but she knew the real test was yet to come. The main fleet would arrive soon, and they would not be so easily defeated. As night fell on the base, Elias and Lyra stood side by side on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly, indifferent to human struggles, yet beautiful in their constancy. Lyra touched the sphere once more, feeling its hum through her fingertips. "It wants us to protect it," she said softly. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder, pride and determination in his eyes. "And we will. No matter what comes, we're ready. We've turned this place from a forgotten relic into a stronghold. Now we defend it together." In the quiet of the night, the base seemed to respond, lights glowing softly along the corridors, machinery humming in harmony, and the sphere pulsing as if in agreement. The Varns had not only discovered an incredible secret, they had awakened it. And the universe, vast and unknowable, would soon take notice. For the first time in decades, Elias felt that familiar thrill of being on the front line, not in a battlefield of war, but in a fight for discovery, ingenuity, and human courage. Lyra, standing beside him, was ready to face the unknown as well. Together they had taken the old space base and made it something new, something alive, and something powerful. The days ahead promised danger, challenge, and revelation. But for now, they allowed themselves a moment of triumph. They had uncovered the first true secret of the station. They had glimpsed the power left behind by a civilization far older and wiser than humanity. And they had proven once again that courage, intelligence, and determination were qualities humans could wield to overcome even the most mysterious and advanced forces of the universe. The adventure was just beginning, and the Varns were ready. The warning alarms echoed through the corridors of the base, a harsh contrast to the quiet hum that had become its heartbeat. Elias Varn's eyes narrowed as he surveyed the displays. A fleet of mercenaries had entered the sector, and their approach was swift and calculated. This was no longer a test or a scouting party. It was a full assault. Lyra, standing beside him, felt her heart pound, but her mind was sharp and focused. She had learned much from the alien technology, and she knew that the station itself could be a powerful ally if they used it wisely. Elias issued orders quickly, activating the base's defenses. Energy turrets powered on, drones scuttled into position, and automated shields flickered to life along the perimeter. The hum of the alien machinery grew louder as the sphere in the hidden chamber pulsed in response to the rising tension. Lyra watched it, feeling the subtle flow of energy through her fingertips. "It's reacting," she said. "It knows they're coming." Elias nodded grimly. "Then we use it. Let's show them what humans can do when they refuse to give up." The first wave of enemy fighters arrived in the upper atmosphere of the station, skimming dangerously close to the hull. The base's turrets opened fire, energy bolts streaking through the void and striking with precision. The mercenaries had expected an empty relic, a defenseless target. They were wrong. The base had life, and it fought back. Lyra moved to the control panel in the central hub, her fingers flying over the alien consoles. She had learned to interface with the system in ways Elias could not, activating defensive drones and redirecting energy flows. She smiled briefly, a flash of triumph in the tension. "We're faster than they are," she said. "We can anticipate their moves." The mercenary fleet adjusted, sending in boarding ships. Small, agile craft hurtled toward the station's docking ports, attempting to breach the hull. Elias met them with strategy honed from years in battle. He had anticipated this moment, preparing choke points, trap corridors, and automated barriers that would slow the intruders. Together, father and daughter became a team that no ordinary force could easily overcome. Inside the base, the corridors were alive with defense. Turrets rotated, targeting intruders as they approached. Doors slammed shut automatically, sealing off sections to isolate the enemy. Drones scuttled silently along walls and ceilings, striking from unexpected angles. Lyra guided them with the alien system's interface, enhancing their response times and accuracy. She realized that the sphere was not just a passive object, it amplified their abilities, allowing them to react with speed and precision beyond normal human limits. Despite their advantage, the mercenaries were relentless. They had come prepared, armed with energy weapons and boarding gear designed to bypass human defenses. Elias and Lyra faced waves of intruders, their movements fluid and coordinated. Elias relied on experience, predicting enemy actions and positioning defenses with military precision. Lyra relied on intuition and the alien technology, hacking systems on the fly and turning the base itself into a weapon. At one point, a boarding party breached a lower deck corridor. Elias met them head-on, using the station's gravity control to tilt the floor, sending attackers sprawling. Lyra activated a swarm of drones, their mechanical claws and energy pulses incapacitating the intruders. The base seemed to fight alongside them, responding to their commands as if it were alive, aware, and loyal. Amidst the chaos, Lyra noticed something unusual. The sphere's glow had intensified, and the holographic projections it emitted seemed to shift toward the enemy ships outside. She touched the console instinctively, and a wave of energy pulsed through the station. The turrets fired with unprecedented speed, drones moved in perfect synchronization, and the shields strengthened as if guided by an unseen hand. "It's helping us!" she shouted to Elias. Elias's face was set in determination. "Then we push forward. Hold the base at all costs." The battle raged for hours. Outside, the mercenary fleet took heavy losses as their ships were struck by the station's energy weapons. Inside, remaining boarding parties struggled against the coordinated defenses. Elias and Lyra moved through the base like a single unit, anticipating movements, countering attacks, and using the alien technology to their advantage. Every failed attempt by the mercenaries reinforced the idea that this was no ordinary human station. It was a fortress born of human courage and alien ingenuity combined. Then, during a brief lull, Lyra noticed a small vessel attempting to reach the hidden chamber. "Father." "They're trying to get to the artifact," she cried. Elias moved quickly, barricading access points and preparing a defensive perimeter. "We cannot let them reach it," he said. "The moment they touch it, everything changes. We have to protect it." As the intruders approached the chamber, the sphere reacted violently. Pulses of energy shot outward, forming a protective barrier around the pedestal. The attackers hesitated, weapons sparking as the energy repelled them. Lyra focused on the console, trying to understand the sphere's response. Her mind raced, interpreting alien code, adjusting energy flows, and reinforcing the protective field. Suddenly, the sphere's glow enveloped her hands, and a surge of clarity flowed through her. Thoughts became faster, calculations immediate, reflexes sharp. She could anticipate the attackers' moves before they acted, guide drones with pinpoint accuracy, and manipulate the station's systems in perfect harmony. Elias watched in awe as his daughter became the perfect interface between human skill and alien technology. One by one, the boarding parties were neutralized. The surviving mercenaries retreated, their attacks failing repeatedly against a base they had thought weak and abandoned. Outside, the fleet received the same message. The station was not to be breached. The alien technology, combined with human ingenuity, had created a defense they could not overcome. As silence returned to the base, Elias and Lyra stood in the central hub, breathing heavily but triumphant. The sphere pulsed gently, as if acknowledging their success. Lyra lowered her hands and smiled at her father. "We did it," she said softly. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder, pride and relief evident in his expression. "Yes, we did. But this is only the beginning. The base, the sphere, they are more than we imagined. And others will come, more powerful than these mercenaries. We must be ready." Lyra nodded, her mind already turning to the possibilities the alien technology presented. The sphere was not just a tool, it was a key, a guide, and a protector. It had chosen them for a reason, and it was clear that their journey was far from over. In the following days, they worked to strengthen the base further. Drones were upgraded, turrets recalibrated, and energy shields enhanced. Lyra continued to study the sphere, uncovering more of its capabilities. She discovered that it could temporarily enhance human abilities, improve decision-making, and even interface with external technology in ways they had not yet imagined. Elias focused on strategy, knowing that the attacks they had faced were only a preview. He trained with Lyra, preparing for future threats and planning contingencies. Together, they explored more of the base, discovering additional hidden chambers and ancient technology. Each discovery reinforced the idea that humanity, when combined with courage and intelligence, could wield power far beyond what most believed possible. Word of their defense spread quickly. Factions that had laughed at the Varns now spoke in hushed tones of respect and caution. The base, once dismissed as worthless, had proven itself to be a fortress of human ingenuity and perseverance. Even those who had mocked them realized that Elias and Lyra were far from ordinary. They were capable, resourceful, and fearless, traits that could overcome even the most advanced technology. Despite the victory, Elias knew they could not grow complacent. The alien artifact, while powerful, was a responsibility. It could not fall into the wrong hands, and the base had to be protected at all costs. He and Lyra devised protocols for future defense, integrating human tactics with the alien systems to create a network of protection that would withstand almost any assault. Lyra spent long hours in the hidden chamber, learning to communicate with the sphere and understand its functions. She began to realize that it was more than a weapon. It was a teacher. The projections it emitted contained knowledge of distant worlds, star systems, and civilizations long gone. The sphere offered humanity a glimpse into the vast universe and the potential that lay within them. Elias watched her progress with a mixture of pride and caution. He knew that while their human instincts and experience were essential, it was Lyra's intellect and intuition, guided by the sphere, that would allow them to unlock the station's full potential. Together, they had become a team capable of defending not only the base, but also the knowledge and power it held. As the days passed, the base grew stronger. Its systems were fully operational, energy flows stabilized, and defenses integrated seamlessly with the alien technology. The once-forgotten station had become a symbol of human perseverance and ingenuity, a place where courage and intelligence met opportunity, and where even the most unlikely heroes could achieve greatness. Elias and Lyra stood together on the observation deck one evening, gazing at the stars. The battle had been won, but the universe was vast and full of unknowns. The sphere pulsed softly in the hidden chamber, a reminder that their journey was only beginning. Lyra turned to her father. "They laughed at us," she said softly. "They thought we were fools for taking this base. But we've shown them that humans are capable of more than they imagined." Elias nodded, a proud smile crossing his face. "And we'll continue to show them. This base, this station, and the knowledge we've uncovered, they are proof that courage, intelligence, and determination can overcome any obstacle. Humanity can rise even in the forgotten corners of space." The Varns had faced their first true test, and they had emerged victorious. The station, once a relic of the past, had become a fortress, a laboratory, and a beacon of hope. And as they looked out into the vast expanse of stars, they knew that their greatest challenges and their greatest discoveries were still ahead. The universe had taken notice, and those who had once mocked them would soon learn that the soldier and his daughter were far from ordinary. They were the future of human ingenuity, courage, and resilience. And the adventure that lay ahead would test everything they had learned, forging them into something even greater than they could have imagined. The base was calm, but the silence was deceptive. Elias Varn and Lyra had spent days fortifying their position, repairing systems, and learning to fully control the alien technology. The mercenaries had retreated, but Elias knew that the universe would not ignore what they had discovered for long. There were always others seeking power, wealth, or knowledge, and the artifact in the hidden chamber was a prize no one would overlook. Lyra sat at the console, studying a holographic map projected from the sphere. Stars and planets she had never seen before floated in the air, connected by lines of energy. The patterns shifted and pulsed, showing possible paths through the galaxy and occasionally highlighting systems with strange anomalies. "It's like it's showing us where to go," she whispered, "or warning us where danger might be." Elias leaned over her shoulder, studying the projections. "We've learned much from this station," he said, "but the more we understand, the more we see that humanity is still small in the universe. And yet, look at what we've done here. Look at what we can do." Lyra smiled, feeling a sense of pride and excitement. Together, they had transformed a forgotten, abandoned space base into a fortress of human ingenuity. They had defended it against mercenaries, deciphered alien technology, and begun unlocking secrets that no human had ever known. And now, it was not just a station. They had created a hub, a place where humans could learn, grow, and explore the galaxy. Their celebration was brief. A new signal appeared on the long-range sensors, unlike anything they had seen. It was vast, moving slowly but deliberately, and the energy signature suggested a craft far larger and more advanced than the mercenaries' fleet. Elias tensed. "This is no simple attack," he said. "Whatever that is, it's coming for the station and it's strong." Lyra studied the incoming vessel, analyzing patterns and energy outputs. "It's enormous," she said. "But the station, it can handle it. We just need to use everything we've learned." Elias nodded. "Then we prepare. This time we don't just defend. We show them what humans are capable of." They moved quickly, activating every system, coordinating the drones, turrets, and energy shields. The station responded as if alive, anticipating movements, strengthening weak points, and integrating the alien technology seamlessly with human strategy. Lyra touched the sphere, feeling its pulse align with her own heartbeat. It was as though the station itself had chosen this moment to fight alongside them. When the massive vessel appeared, the scale of it was breathtaking. It blocked out distant stars, and its energy signature pulsed with authority and menace. The alien ship sent probes to test the station's defenses, but Elias and Lyra had prepared for every eventuality. Energy turrets tracked each probe, drones intercepted them, and the shields absorbed energy blasts that would have shattered ordinary structures. Lyra realized that the sphere could amplify not just her abilities, but also the base itself. The station's systems moved faster, responded quicker, and adapted intelligently to the vessel's attacks. She felt a thrill as she guided the defenses, her mind working in harmony with the alien technology. "We're stronger than they expect," she said. Elias smiled grimly. "Then let's make sure they know it." The battle was unlike anything they had faced before. The alien vessel was relentless, firing waves of energy and sending boarding crafts toward the station. But Elias's strategy, combined with Lyra's control over the sphere, turned the tide. They anticipated every move, using the base's automated systems to trap intruders, redirect energy attacks, and protect the heart of the station, the hidden chamber. During the fight, Lyra discovered another function of the artifact. When she concentrated, she could project a field that enhanced reflexes and cognition, not just for herself, but for Elias as well. Together, they moved with unmatched speed and coordination, responding to threats almost before they existed. Their actions became a blur, human skill enhanced by alien intelligence. One of the boarding parties managed to breach the lower decks, but Elias and Lyra confronted them immediately. Using gravity control and energy pulses, they neutralized the intruders with precision. Lyra directed drones to intercept additional threats, and the alien technology reinforced the station's defenses in real time. The vessel outside seemed to hesitate, recalculating its attack, unable to predict the combination of human intuition and alien machinery. Hours passed, the battle stretching into exhaustion and strain. Yet neither Elias nor Lyra faltered. Each victory built confidence. Each successful defense reinforced the bond between human ingenuity and the station's alien power. By nightfall, the vessel retreated, leaving behind probes that Elias destroyed carefully to prevent any tracking. The station was scarred but intact, a monument to perseverance and courage. In the aftermath, Elias and Lyra explored the hidden chamber again. The sphere pulsed gently, as if satisfied with their performance. Lyra smiled, her mind still racing with possibilities. "It's more than a weapon," she said. "It's a guide, a protector, a teacher. It's showing us that humans can rise to challenges even when we're underestimated." Elias nodded, his eyes reflecting pride and awe. "We've proven it already. We've turned a forgotten relic into a fortress, defended it against overwhelming odds, and unlocked secrets no human has ever seen. We are capable of more than anyone imagined." The two of them spent the following days reinforcing the station and cataloging the knowledge the sphere provided. Star charts, ancient civilizations, and advanced technologies filled the holographic displays. Lyra discovered ways to adapt the alien energy for practical use, improving life support, enhancing the station's power distribution, and even designing ships that could one day explore systems far beyond known space. Elias focused on the strategic implications. The station was now a hub of intelligence and defense, a place where humans could observe, learn, and expand their influence. He knew that what they had built would attract attention, but he also knew that it was a symbol of what humans could achieve when courage, intelligence, and determination combined. Visitors began to arrive, other explorers, scholars, and allies who had heard of the Varn's accomplishments. They came not as conquerors, but as collaborators, eager to study, learn, and contribute. The station became a place of human achievement, a testament to ingenuity, cooperation, and bravery. Those who had once laughed at Elias and Lyra now looked on with respect and admiration. Despite the recognition, Elias remained vigilant. The universe was vast and full of unknown dangers. He knew the station and its artifact could not fall into the wrong hands. Training programs were established, protocols for security implemented, and the station's defenses maintained at peak readiness. Every human aboard was taught to respect both the technology and the responsibilities it entailed. Lyra continued her studies with the sphere. She discovered that it could interface with other technologies, predicting failures, suggesting improvements, and even proposing designs beyond human imagination. She began building a vision for the future, a network of human colonies connected through advanced energy and communication systems, capable of exploring and thriving in distant sectors. Elias watched his daughter with pride. She was not just capable of operating the alien technology, she was beginning to understand its purpose, It was clear that the sphere had chosen her as much as it had chosen him. Together, they represented a new era of human potential, a generation capable of mastering challenges that once seemed impossible. The final test came unexpectedly. A signal arrived from a distant system, a call for aid from a colony under threat. The sphere highlighted a route, showing hazards, energy readings, and possible strategies. Elias and Lyra mobilized the station's resources, guiding a small fleet of human ships to assist. They coordinated defenses, repaired failing systems remotely, and turned the tide of battle without leaving the station. The colony was saved, and word of the Varn's capabilities spread across human space. Tales of courage, intelligence, and collaboration flourished, inspiring others to take risks, explore, and rise to challenges. The once-forgotten space base had become a symbol of human achievement, a place where bravery, skill, and determination could triumph even against overwhelming odds. As the dust settled and the station thrummed with quiet energy, Elias and Lyra stood together on the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of the vast universe still to explore. "We've come far," Elias said softly. "And yet, there is so much more ahead." Lyra nodded, eyes shining. "We've shown them what humans are capable of, and now we can reach farther, learn more, and protect what matters. The universe is bigger than we imagined, but we're ready for it." Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "It's not just about discovery. It's about responsibility, courage, and humanity. We've proven that humans can rise to any challenge, no matter how impossible it seems." The sphere pulsed softly in the hidden chamber, its light reflecting in their eyes. It had guided them, protected them, and taught them, but it also seemed to promise more, that the future held even greater adventures, discoveries, and triumphs for those willing to face the unknown. In that moment, father and daughter understood the truth. The base, the artifact, and their efforts were more than survival or conquest. They were the beginning of a legacy, a testament to human courage, ingenuity, and resilience. The universe was vast, filled with mysteries and challenges, but humanity could rise, adapt, and thrive. The Varns had turned laughter and doubt into respect and admiration. They had taken a forgotten relic and made it a beacon of hope, a fortress of knowledge, and a symbol of human potential. And as they looked out into the endless stars, they knew that this was only the beginning. The universe awaited, full of unknowns, dangers, and wonders. And humans, brave, clever, and determined, would be ready. The story of the soldier and his daughter, once laughed at and dismissed, became a story of triumph, discovery, and hope. The old space base was no longer forgotten. It was alive, strong, and a shining example of what humanity could achieve when courage met opportunity, when intelligence met determination, and when the underestimated proved that they were capable of greatness beyond imagination. And so, Elias and Lyra stood side by side, looking forward to the endless possibilities ahead, ready to meet the challenges of the universe, and to leave a legacy that would inspire generations to come.